Your boss, the ultimate enemy in a war that you can't win. They spend their day watching and critiquing your work, trying to find something to complain about. But who's watching them? Well, you are. But there's nothing you can do about their faults but sit back and take it. Well, you could complain to their boss and ask to remain anonymous, but they're typically friendly with your boss. So all you'll end up doing is drawing attention upon yourself when your boss's boss tells them both who complained and what they complained about. So all you'll really achieve is making your work life a little bit more miserable. You're at work and we'll say you finish about 6 PM. Just another day at the office. But today has been a little bit busier than normal and you have to stay for an extra 10 or 20 minutes to help close up the shop, close a sale or get him to climax, whatever your job entails. I won't judge, we're all friends here. Now your boss expects you to stay without question to finish the work at hand. God forbid you have a life outside your job. So begrudgingly, you stay on for a bit of extra time. Even though most of the time, for being real here, the bastards are not paying you for it. But you're surrounded by spineless co-workers who wouldn't attempt to back you up when you point out how illegal that is, out of some misguided fear that they'll be fired, despite the fact they could win themselves an easy few $renos in court for unfair dismissal. But anyway, what was I talking about? Ah yes, staying late. So you're expected to stay late when it's needed for no pay. But if the next morning traffic is too heavy, your alarm doesn't go off, or you get too generous with time with your morning toss and show up 5 minutes late, you might as well have bonked his wife. Or her wife. It's all about equality here on the Ducky channel. But the fucking attitude they give you, you could bottle it. It'll be made note of, you'll be continuously watched from that point on, you'll get written warnings and other forms of scare tactic disciplinary actions. In their eyes, you're worse than a Super Saiyan vegan militant feminist Hitler that wears skinny jeans. But you can do shag all about it. Because unlike refusing to stay late, showing up late is a sackable offence. So all you can do is look at your feet and apologise while in your head you're screaming at him,
"You fucking hypocritical scrotum sniffing worm. I stayed on to help you out last night. And you're actually going to stand there and talk down to me like I'm a fucking child because I was 26 seconds late. Is this actually happening? Is this actually fucking happening? Are you so fucking ugly?"
Sorry boss, won't happen again.
His back is brawny but his brain is weak.
You wake up, fantastic, I'm off work today. Back to sleep. Is there a nicer feeling in life than waking up then going straight back to sleep? But just as you're finally about to close the deal with Rachel Riley off a countdown. Hello?
Where the fuck are you?
I'm in bed.
What the hell are you doing in bed? You're supposed to be at work.
But I'm off today.
You were, but I changed your shift 2 days ago.
But nobody told me the hours changed.
That's not my fucking problem. Now get your arse into work.
So not only have you lost what otherwise would have been a pleasant day, you're now rushing to work, stressing out, and you know you're going to get a good talking to when you get into work. Why do bosses do this shit? Change your rota without telling you. They actually expect you to check that your hours haven't changed every 20 fucking minutes throughout the week. Is it so hard to make a phone call? Or just message me? I'm not fucking telepathic. So don't just assume I'll know when you decide you want to shit all over my day off. Oh, this grates me more than a fucking cheese grater fleshlight.
Just plain stupid with a stubborn streak.
You're dealing with a difficult customer, which is fancy talk for dealing with a customer who's a complete and utter cunt and has just about enough brain cells to remind him to breathe on occasion. Customer wants a refund on a broken item that they clearly broke themselves, and you're explaining the store policy on broken item refunds to them, which can be summed up in 2 words: tough shit. So upon hearing the store's policy and coming to the conclusion that this outcome doesn't suit them, they do exactly what you'd think. Let logic and reason decide that it was their own fault, and they were foolish to believe that a shop would replace an item that they had been so clumsy to break, and respectively leave the store after apologising profusely. No, actually, they asked to speak to the manager. That's what they do. I don't know what I'd be thinking sometimes. So you go to the manager and you explain to him you've been having a heated argument with a customer who thinks they can just break shit and bring it back and get a brand new one for no good reason. But rest assured you've explained to the customer in great detail the store's policy on this, as you know and are constantly reminded of the fact that you'll be fired if you don't enforce or follow these policies. So the manager comes and talks to the irate customer. He calmly explains the store policy again to the customer, explains that aggressive, intimidating tactics directed at staff will not be tolerated, and asks the customer to kindly leave the store or they will be forcefully removed. No, I did it again. What am I like? No, what they actually do is see how angry the customer is, shit themselves internally, and instantly refund them. What the fuck did you do that for? Do you not know the consequences of what you've just done? Let me list them out to you. Number 1, by refunding them, they now think I wasn't following store policies. No, they now think I just had a personal vendetta against them. So thanks for making me look like an arsehole. Number 2, you show them if they throw a temper tantrum and make a scene, they'll get exactly what they want. And number 3, you've rewarded somebody for being a complete and utter cunt. And rather than doing the right thing and banning him from the fucking store for abusing staff, that cunt will be back to do this all over again. Tell you what, next time, why don't you give them a nice shoulder rub and I'll give them a good long hand job so I can actually be the wanker you've just made me look like.
He's fat and lazy and extremely rude.
A lot of bosses are guilty of this, but I did have one boss who took the piss with it. She was, to put politely, a fire-breathing cunt. I could go a lot harsher, believe me. But when I was working at this store, I was there for about a year before she started. So needless to say, at this stage, I knew what I was doing. But when she started, she used to say,
Ducky, go out and stock them sweets.
simple job that I'd done, hold on, at least once a day, 5 days a week, that's 365 days, minus 104 days off. 261 times before. But even though I had done this job 261 times before, she would still follow me to the shelf and tell me exactly how to do it.
All facing forward. Rotate the stock so the shorter days are at the front. Make sure the price labels at the front are the right thing.
Bitch! I know this. I don't need you to micromanage me every step of the way. I'd understand if I was attempting to, I don't know, defuse a bomb. But I'm not, am I? I'm stocking a shelf of M&Ms. Now please walk away before I grab this tube of Smarties and shove it right up your
Could be swinging on a star.
I've worked a few jobs in my time, and one thing that a good boss, well, an utterly maniacal control freak of a boss likes, is that power. So, there are two types of people in this environment who can react to that boss, the toe suckers and the no fuckers. Now the boss likes the toe suckers, not because they're any good, no, they're a bunch of useless, bootless, fruitless scooters. No offence to scooters. You see, the reason that Mr. Bossman here enjoys their company so much is because he's pre-booked an ego trip to self-congratulatory enlightenment land, and all those plebs are helping fund his little tour. But now you have the other side, the no fuckers, and I'm not talking about an above average Russian YouTuber. No, we're referring to the people who don't subscribe to that shit. I'm going to fuck around and tolerate sucking up to head honcho here. Good for you. You get to retain your principles and a strong sense of moral compass. What you don't retain is any of the actual material benefits. So let's get to it. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, why don't I get what the toe suckers get? Well, you're probably not, because it's pretty elementary stuff. It's just you don't expect your boss to be a massive prick. But when they are, the boss will see you as a threat, a dissenter, someone who may pass on bad words to the higher management. You must be stopped. You must be neutralized. He's watching you now, so you better not make a mistake, or say anything slightly dicey, because he will threaten you with discipline. Or dismissal. Not that he could actually sack you for a minor misdemeanor, but he'll try anything to get you into the conformists one way or another. Want to communicate with him? Bad idea. He's always right and you're always wrong. He had to earn that management job through a laborious, hard 3 years degree. Be prepared to be talked down to, that eagerness to blame you if something goes wrong, and even if you subsequently prove the absence of your involvement, he'll refuse to acknowledge that he may have been incorrect in his assumption. Want some free time? Too bad. Your manager wants you to work at overtime, as he needs an evening to tickle his wife's clitoris on that Saturday night that you were planning on going out with your best mate Dave. And it's his birthday, and his mum just died. Bet you feel like a bit of a prick now. But you won't speak up about it. You don't want to seem rigid or unreasonable. You may miss out on that possible pay rise you know you won't get anyway. Tough shit. That 2005 Vauxhall Astra just became a 1991 Ford Escort. Good luck picking up pussy in that piece of machinery. And good luck with working your way up the food chain. I'm sure it will pay off.